And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We love to help you win in any marketplace. Save our hotline number in your phone at some point. You may need it, 813-917-1894. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 813-917-1894. We love it when you reach out to the hotline. Had an uptick in calls last week. Lots of people reaching out, wanting to get introduced to our 80 different categories, 50-plus show partners here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we greatly appreciate it. We got a great lineup for you today. We got our friend Larry Harbolt going to be joining us later in the program, LarryHarbolt.com. He's a real estate investor and a teacher. We also have Mike Murphy back in studio, owner Murphy Auto Group, and with his business partner, Tate Martell and Murphy Sports. Interesting stuff that they're doing with name, image, and likeness consulting and more from them. Also, Dr. Genevieve Dobson here in studio, Degrees of Success, and she is a student loan expert, among other things, published author, and she's got a class that she's teaching now as well. So we got a great lineup for you today here on the program. Our feel-good story of the day is pretty cool, too. Shaq gifted Shaquille O'Neal, if you don't know, but most people know Shaq by Shaq, right? Gifted thousands of PS5s and Nintendo Switches to underprivileged kids on Christmas. So feel-good story of the day, as we always do here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I want to give a shout-out to one of our sponsors here, the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. It's a great escape from Tampa. Just go over to the beaches. It feels like things slow down a little bit once you get over on the beaches. But Clyde Smith, he's the general manager. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Bilmar Beach Resort, 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant. Great opportunity just to kind of get away and enjoy that local staycation. And if you're out of state listening, this is a great opportunity for a vacation here in Tampa Bay. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got a hot listing. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air to help our sellers profit more and sell faster by utilizing our innovation with radio, TV, internet marketing. We've got 2 Oak Avenue in Palm Harbor. This is a beautiful listing of ours. This is a waterfront, canal front property on Lake Tarpon. Think about a great investment opportunity, or even, of course, you could live there and you could boat to dinner, boat to lunch over at the Tarpon Turtle on Lake Tarpon. Great opportunity to own real estate. 1,500 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, waterfront home with a new dock right on Lake Tarpon. Stainless steel kitchen appliances, granite countertops, and just a beautiful property. You can check out our photography, professional photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks as well. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, let's jump into it. Dr. Genevieve Dobson, welcome back.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, you too. You too. I'm so glad that 2021 is over. Let me just tell you.
Hey, it's a new chapter.
Yep,
that's right.
Absolutely.
It still feels funny writing the 22 on there.
I
though,
know.
huh?
I mess it up all the time.
Yeah. Student loan payments postponed. Good news for people that have student loan debt.
Absolutely. So we weren't really expecting it, and Biden decided to postpone student loan payments further until May 1st, giving people 90 more days, and that includes postponement of interest.
Okay.
So, but that's only on a certain type of loan. So those of you listening, if you have older loans, if you're more my age, have some of those old undergrad loans, they may not qualify. So touch base with me so that we can get them so that they do take advantage of zero interest. I mean, zero interest is huge.
Yeah.
And then, of course, no payments is always a plus. So, there's going to be some changes that might need to be made to make sure that you get that.
Okay. Yeah. And so student loans, I mean, that can really eat up a lot of your, what we call in the lending industry, the debt to income ratio.
Right. It can. Absolutely. There's some ways around it. There's some tricks. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Many of my clients have come to me and said, hey, I'm trying to buy a house, but they're like, no, because I have $280,000 in student loans.
Wow.
But there is a trick for me to get them so that we can prove to underwriting that the payment's not going to be as high as it looks like on paper.
Right.
So that we can get them in the house. I had a client, we ended up showing that her payment was going to be $138. They used that against her debt instead of the $2,800 payment that they calculated. Made a big difference. She bought her house.
Big difference, yeah. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So if you're trying to buy a house and you got the student loans, contact me. I know the tricks to get around that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to back up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So you've got your doctorate degree. You've got multiple businesses you're running.
I do.
Published 3 books, 3 or 4 books, I think.
Yeah, 3.
And so how did you kind of get into this niche? It's an interesting niche with helping people with student loans and some of this debt forgiveness type stuff.
So I actually fell into it back in 2005, I want to say. I started working for a company, and that's what they were doing, a lot of consolidations back then, kind of feeling out the industry, making some big changes. Young company, they were fresh out of college, and I started working for them, and within 6 months they're like, hey, come to Florida, like work for us out of the office there. I worked for them for 5 years. They ended up moving back to Boston office, and I stayed and I started my business. So I was like, I can do this. I've been pretty much like running the show anyway.
That's capitalism right there.
Right. So I got into it and just started creating my own clientele base, marketing myself, and here I am now. I've been doing it on my own 12 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I love those stories. People, you work for somebody, you kind of go into it. We've talked about before too. I think, in my opinion, and a lot of people I listen to, too many people are kind of stuck in that mindset of got to go to college. I've got to get the 4-year degree. I got to accumulate all this debt.
Right.
And then a lot of times you're getting an education in something that you don't really like and care about that much.
Right.
And but there's other options now. You got these trade schools. Hey,
absolutely.
And to follow your example, you went to work for a company for a certain amount of years, but let's say somebody went to a trade school, they decided to be a plumber, electrician, a build houses, a contractor, build pools. I mean, these pools are going. We're building one. It's like $80,000 now to build a pool. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It used to be $30,000-$40,000, right?
Yeah.
So go out, work for somebody, get your trade stuff going, and then the American dream is start your own business, build your own house, grow your own your economy.
I believe from what I read, 40 million people left their jobs last year, and a lot of people were like, oh, people are just lazy. No, most of those people went out and started some type of entrepreneurial job.
Yeah.
So there is a lot out there, and that's my business consulting company Jump program actually helps with that, where it's like, okay, do you want to create something where you can bring in your own revenue and build your own business, and maybe you don't understand how to set up the LLC or the S corp document or the EIN or whatever, and my Jump program does help with that, because so many people need to find other avenues of making money. We realize that the old way is not working.
Yeah. Yeah, especially being W-2'd, and a lot of times working for somebody else, you have these rules, and by the way, look what happened in the last 18 months. Oh well, you got to wear your mask, you got to do this. Well, hey, if you're self-employed and within the law, and luckily, thank God, we've got a great governor here in the state of Florida allowing us to be free, and we're seeing all these people migrating from those blue states, those lockdown states. So if you're self-employed, hey, you write your rules, you write your own rule book.
You do, yeah, you write your own rules, and you can make as much money or as you want. There's no cap. It just depends on how much work you put into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways of doing it. So, it's a smart move.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Dr. Genevieve Dobson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Degrees of Success website, studentloanmanagement.info here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And she's got some different specializations, student loan payments, student loan forgiveness, and some of the different consolidation programs is some of the stuff you do. You also teach business classes too coming up, right?
I do. I'll be a professor this this year at HCC, so the community college here in Tampa Bay, so right on Dale Mabry. So there's still some time if you want to add the class. I'm going to teach more practitioner focus. A lot of times teachers teach very theoretical approaches because they've never really been business owners.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm coming in with actual business experience saying, hey, let's look at some other things beyond the textbook.
I like that.
And I'll bring in some different guest speakers that, own their business as well. And I want to teach younger people that there's so many different avenues that they can go into.
Yeah.
And it's really just a matter of mindset, sitting down saying, okay, this is what I love, but how do I do it?
Right.
So if you haven't signed up for class yet and you've been thinking about it, definitely do it. It's going to be a fun class.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of reminds me of when I was finalizing my school, and you're going through these different classes. I did business management with an entrepreneurship concentration.
Perfect. Right.
And so that was fun. It was cool.
Right.
And then I went, one of my main schools I love outside of that was Tony Robbins Business Mastery. That was an awesome idea, mind opening type idea.
Right.
But I think that's cool. So you have practical knowledge versus a lot of these. And when you were talking about that earlier, it reminds me of the politicians. A lot of these guys never signed the paychecks on the other side, right? And so you look at real life experience, how valuable that can be for people.
Absolutely, yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm not going to be a super stickler with a lot of testing and all that stuff. It's really just do you understand the concepts, and do you know how to take nothing and make something out of it?
Right.
And that's something that I think can be learned, because a lot of people say oh, well, entrepreneurs are born. Maybe yes, to a certain degree, but I think you can learn how to become an entrepreneur in slow steps.
Yeah.
It's just a mindset change.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you can change your circumstances. Here in America, if you're born into poverty, it's I've heard it said it's not your fault, but if you stay there, it is.
Absolutely.
Those things. So if you got to have a belief in that you can do it. You got to have confidence,
yes.
right? You got to have an action plan. Here's the steps to follow, and then it really just takes grit. It just takes that stick-to-itiveness, right, to go out and get it done.
Yeah, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I tell people all the time, it's not going to be super easy, but once you get to a certain level, it becomes a lot easier.
That's right.
And it's okay. You make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I'm well, that was a waste of $500.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and you learn from it, and you make better decisions as you go along, and you just get better and better, and you just keep learning, and gosh, we have the internet now.
Yes.
We didn't grow up with the internet at our age.
Remember, you had to go look it up in
you had to
encyclopedias
go to the
and stuff.
library. You had to go and find the book and then check it out. Now, it's a click of the button. How do I start a business? Well, you're going to find 33 trillion things that teach you about it. You can buy people's books, about it. I got a new book coming out soon this year that's going to talk about it. And so there's no excuse to not get out of your own way to do something better in every aspect. Student loan management, credit management, which I do as well, buying property, renting out property, anything you want to know is available.
Yeah. So you help people improve their credit scores also?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We do credit management. We do business credit management as well as traditional individual management. We help with understanding trade lines, and we do have some trade line offers and things like that. So we really have branched out to really make sure that, not just looking at student loans, but you have to look at your credit as well.
Yeah.
Because credit is super important. Without credit, there's not much you can do. And so we incorporate all of that into at least 100-point increase in credit scores.
Nice.
So that's a really good program that we offer.
Yeah, credit's a big one. You weren't taught it in school. You didn't really figure it out. From the a lot of this stuff is hard knocks, right? The school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
But when you think about credit, it's a lot. It's trade lines. It's the types of credits you have. It's of course making payments on time.
Right.
But credit can affect insurance rates. It can affect you getting that rental or real estate or buying cars or starting a business. It can affect a lot of things.
And people that have lower credit scores end up spending $200,000 more in their lifetime than people with good credit.
Wow.
$200,000. So you're basically spending $200,000 just because of the fact that you haven't learned how to build your credit.
That's an
we
interesting
charge
stat.
$995. You spend $1,000, we're going to save you $199,000 in your lifetime.
That's a good way to look at it.
It's a no-brainer.
That's awesome.
Fix it now, get all the low interest rates, and you're going to just be so much better off in the future.
Yeah, credit card offers. Even jobs too. I think jobs are pulling people's credit, right?
Absolutely. They look at credit because they're well, how responsible are you?
Right.
If you're not responsible enough to pay your $89, cable bill, do we feel comfortable with you working here? Would you maybe be dishonest and and maybe steal money. Like there's different ways of looking at it. So it's important to have it. Yeah, people get like all the time. They're like, I don't know why I didn't get that job. Your credit score's too low.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking with Dr. Genevieve Dobson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Degrees of Success, studentloanmanagement.info is her website. And what about on social? You doing stuff on social media? People connect with you?
I got tons of social media stuff. Facebook is Degrees of Success. My Twitter account is Degrees Success. I have LinkedIn, of course, under Degrees of Success or under my name. You can find me pretty much anywhere. Like literally just Google Genevieve Dobson and there's a plethora of videos and websites. I have multiple websites because I have multiple businesses. So you can find me everywhere.
Nice. Busy gal.
Yeah, I try to be busy because if
right.
you're not, like I learned from somebody a long time ago. They were like 100 and something, and the doctor said, well, how do you do it? And they said, I never let grass grow under my feet.
Yeah.
I always keep it moving.
Stay busy.
Stay busy.
That's
and
right.
Just keep it going. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us here, and hopefully, our listeners will reach out to you and take advantage. Student loans, big topic.
Yep.
Lots of debt out there.
Yep.
Lots of things that people can improve on with student loans. Credit improvement, that's a big one.
Absolutely.
Starting a business consulting.
Yep.
So that's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
All righty. Thanks for coming in.
Of course. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got Mike Murphy, real Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and also Tate Martell as well, name, image, likeness consultant with Martell and Murphy Sports. And we'll be right back after this short break. We got our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Shaq gifted thousands of PS5s and Nintendo Switches to underprivileged kids on Christmas. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Hey, Margie here with the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or investing, please give us a shot. We would love to help you. We are a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and you can reach us at 813-750-0550. Call or text 813-750-0550. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, The Business Journal. We're looking for inventory. Attention sellers, we need more inventory to sell. If you're a seller on the fence thinking about selling your property, we want to hear from you. Free comparable market analysis. Check out consumerqb.com.
Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, also the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We love to help our sellers profit more and sell faster in their real estate transactions. We got some hot property listings here in beautiful Tampa Bay, some great opportunities for purchase, immediate purchase here in the Market Center. We've got 4214 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a dry cleaner that's available for sale. This is a business in Seminole Heights, an up-and-coming area. Great opportunity to own real estate. You get the business and the property, corner lot location, and it's a great opportunity, about 2,500 square feet here in Seminole Heights, Florida, close to downtown. And another property that's adjacent to this one, it's on another corner lot, is 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. Got a billboard on site, so you move your business, you got a billboard built into the property. Wood flooring and a kitchen in the back, lots of multiple rooms. You could even sublease some of the rooms if you'd want. 4302 North Nebraska Avenue, billboard on site. Great opportunity to purchase real estate here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right. Mike Murphy back in studio. Mike Murphy Auto Group. Welcome back, sir.
Great to be back.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, likewise. Little feedback there. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll get that out of here soon. So we got Tate also in the house. Back on last time was on the phone. We got you in person here as well. Tate Martell, welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, good to have you, man. So we got Martell Murphy Sports. A new venture that we launched, name, image, and likeness consultants. So that's got to be exciting.
Oh, it's amazing. It's really exciting. We talked last episode about how important it's been for not only myself but for Tate to continue to help the average 18 to 23-year-old who's been playing a professional sport, a college sport, men or women, to be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness until they can make it to that professional level.
Yeah.
Tate's background as a D1 athlete, and it's amazing. I got hurt early. I know you
played that. These individuals are really struggling. I mean, they before NIL were living off handouts and trying to find odd jobs, even though the NCAA would not let you legally have a job. Isn't that right, Tate?
Yeah. Basically, for me, I got a late start. If this would have been around back when I was coming out of high school, I can only imagine the kind of money I would have made back then. But it's been such a cool opportunity for me to kind of stay connected with football and everything now that I'm working, and being able to help not just with football players but kind of every sport, and just staying attached in that way.
Yeah.
And it's been cool because you can put opportunities in front of guys that sometimes they don't have those opportunities. There's a lot of guys that I got to experience even at UNLV this past year. That I got to experience that some of those guys weren't getting the same opportunities as guys that I've seen at Ohio State, Miami, which that's the difference at the schools and stuff like that.
Right.
But that's a part of what I want to do is also finding different ways to create opportunities for those guys that across the board, and that the guys that maybe they're at UNLV and they aren't getting as much attention, but they're still having ways to profit off of their fans that they have themselves.
Yeah.
From maybe their hometowns or the current city that they're in like Las Vegas, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's such a big difference from those top tier schools, your Miamis, your Ohio States, your Florida States, et cetera, right? And then you drop down to like an UNLV or something. There's a different degree there, but also as you mentioned, the opportunity, right? Like I think I was talking with Mike one time, maybe off air, but it was like, hey, let's do let's go on Twitch, let's play this video game, let's do these things. Like people are into that stuff, man.
So I forgot we talked about that. That's off air. So that actually now came to be. So you might remember Al Blades and the Blades family. So Al Blades Jr. is
Benny
a quarterback.
Blades,
Beanie Blades, Brian Blades, Al Blades are all at different points in the NFL. So Al Blades Jr. is one of our partners that Tate brought. You played together at Miami, and we are doing our first NIL Call of Duty tournament.
Nice.
So now we're legally allowed to pay a player like Al Blades Jr. and his e-gaming team to participate in an HBCU tournament. So Payne College is a small historically black college university in Augusta, Georgia, and in February the first weekend in February, we'll be hosting a Call of Duty tournament where not only professional e-gamers can play, but now student athletes allowed to play and win alongside them.
Nice, man. That's cool because you come up, and especially my era versus your era, right? And then going into like these kids now too. I say kids, because a lot of times they're 7th and 8th grade getting recruited by teams. I mean, they already have these online profiles put together. I mean, it's unbelievable now how early that recruiting process starts, and then you get into the maturity level of these kids and some of the challenges that you might have there. So I want to pick up right there when we come back and just kind of dive into that a little bit more. And we're also going to get an auto update from Mike Murphy. He owns multiple car dealerships, auto dealerships across the country. Murphy Auto Group here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Tate Martell in the house, name, image, and likeness consultant here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And plus, we have our feel-good story of the day. I love Shaq giving out gifts to these kids, these underprivileged kids. This is the time of year people are giving back and doing things in the community. So we'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon, you want to keep going? All right, Brandon, you want to go ahead and do mic checks?
Let's just check the mics here.
Okay. Yep. My mic check. How am I sounding? Good.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good.
And so it is Martell and Murphy Consulting?
Martell and Murphy Sports.
Sports.
Yep.
Got it. Sorry, guys.
Cool deal.
And that's just kind of our legal name as we.
Is there a website yet?
Not yet. No, Tate will be launching the DBA on January 26th.
Okay. No, I just wanted to put it in the lower third, but if it's not there, then
Maybe just use his handle.
Yeah, I could do that.
Cool.
What's your handle?
The Tate Martell.
2 E's? Or one?
No, just one.
T-A-T-E, right?
Yeah.
That's a Tampa thing. Like.
So T-H-E, Tate Martell?
Oh, what's
I was going to write it down.
Oh, then T-A-T-E M-A-R-T-E-L-L.
There you go.
And so the is just one E?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Awesome. It's good. All right, here we go, guys. Oh, he's setting the clock. There we go.
All right. Y'all set, Johnny? All right, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We're a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, helping you with your buying decisions here in the market, as well as a consumer advocate. We serve the area as a consumer advocate with interviewing attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, so many different types of ways we can help you here, but it's up to you to reach out. 813-917-1894. Just call the hotline. We'd love to connect with you. 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
All right, we got a hot property listing here at 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard. This is a property, commercial property. C2 is the zoning on it. Great opportunity, 7 acres. Perfect spot, I believe, for a boutique hotel right here in northern Hillsborough County. Land O'Lakes Boulevard, 5602. You've got a amazing opportunity for builders, developers, entrepreneurs. C2 zoning and water and sewer are available. So check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, jumping right back into it. Mike Murphy Auto Group in the house. We're going to get our auto update as well. And we have Tate Martell, name, image, and likeness consultant, as well as Martell and Murphy Sports co-owner as well. So let's jump into that auto. Let's talk about that as well. So the auto industry, it's interesting, right? I mean, you had brought up the idea of, hey, if you got a lease out there, you might contact the dealer, see if you can work a deal, maybe switch it to a purchase type of thing, and actually called on mine just to kind of see what they would say. But talk to us about what's happening in that with, you got the supply chain issues as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I now think we're probably somewhere around the last third of the first game of a doubleheader with the supply chain issue.
Wow.
All this really is still semiconductor chip shortages.
Yeah.
With that said, the average supply is still where it was last conversation. We are at historic lows. We are under 10% Murphy Auto Group. We're doing such a good job selling cars. It's under 6% of our historic average. So that's artificially inflating, obviously, the price of the vehicle.
Yeah.
That with a little bit of inflation sprinkled in. We're not going to see the total effects of inflation because these vehicles have already been built. Right. All the inflation effects of the last 12 months, 18 months will be felt in 2022. We still see used car prices staying high. And if I may bust another myth like last episode, a lot of car people will tell you that it's a new year, your car is worth less. Here's the myth that I'm going to bust. They say that your car, December 28th, is going to be worth less January 1st. It's not. It's actually going to be worth a little bit more. It's actually going to be worth a lot of bit more, counting on what happens with our political season coming up. With tax season being April 15th, and when they start dropping tax returns, you will see a 8 to 12% historic inflation of the used car markets. So your cars are actually worth more in Q1 because every buy here, pay here used car lot, and like myself, a new car dealer, we have to build up inventory.
Yeah.
But there's no inventory.
Right.
So the only thing that can happen is these cars' values are going to continue to go up.
Yeah, man, it's scary too. And you just think back to the blunders that the current administration made in Afghanistan. We pulled out. We left so much money worth of the the lithium and the other, because that's a big part of it. You even see it in some of the commercials about F-150s or different types of vehicles. Those precious gems and metals and things that were left. I mean, an unbelievable amount of money left below the dirt there.
Yeah, we're going to have to innovate through this. The most amazing thing to me is the fact that we knew that the largest untapped mines of lithium ion was in Afghanistan. We knew China wanted it. We know they share a border, and we left anyway.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of people who say, if we invaded Iraq, at least keep the oil so we can pay for the war.
Exactly.
Why didn't we keep the battery basic materials needed?
Yeah.
We were there. I mean, we had cranes and construction and front-end loaders and excavators.
Yeah. It's almost like there's, issues there in terms of treasonous issues. I mean, it's really scary. But anyways, that's a bunny trail we could go down. When you look at what I think a lot of people want to know too is in the industry right now, like if I'm on a budget, I've got student loan debt, I've got all these different debts out there, and the cost of everything's going up, groceries and all that. What if I do have to get a new vehicle or a used vehicle? New versus used, lease versus own.
Wow. Okay, so lease versus own, it really comes down to how much you're going to drive. You're going to drive about 1,000 to 1,300 miles a month. Then leasing, as long as your credit's there, is an option. Is it a good option? It's as good as it ever was. New or used really doesn't matter if I'm talking about how to be an intelligent manager of your funds.
Yeah.
It really comes down to total cost of ownership. We know inflation's up. We know the average cost of everything is going up, but the total cost of automotive ownership can go down. But how, you ask? Miles per gallon. So if you're looking at what you're driving and you look at the cost of an average gallon of gas and you look at everything, take it all into consideration. At Murphy Auto Group, when you buy a car, you get a 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty. You get 4 years of free maintenance. So the first 4 years of ownership, there's no cost of your oil change, tire rotations, blah, blah, blah. You're also getting a highly fuel-efficient vehicle. So if we're talking about $3 a gallon gas, we're on our way to $4 a gallon gas, and your miles per gallon double, your average spend of gasoline a year gets cut in half. If your fuel economy doubles, the cost of driving your car cuts in half. So you can actually afford a little bit of a higher payment if you're saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on fuel consumption.
Wow. I mean, that's really cool. So big warranty there. TheMurphyAdvantage.com.
Correct.
That's awesome. I love that.
And that's not on just new. We do have a 250,000-mile warranty we offer on all qualified used vehicles too.
Wow. Interesting. Very cool. Multiple locations too. How many locations throughout the Southeast was it?
Yeah, we got 5 locations in the Southeast. We got our closest store here is Miracle Toyota in Haines City, Florida. And of course, we deliver here into the Tampa Bay area.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. All right. Now we switch gears. Well, let's go back to, I want to talk more about Martell and Murphy Sports and the name, image, likeness as well. What's going on with that?
So really what we're trying to do is be a consultant between the student athlete that played alongside Tate and give them firsthand advice on what type of NIL deals to do and not to do. Then if we have deals we broker our own deals. Most importantly is to educate the student athlete that they're not an athlete. They're not a football player. They're not a baseball player. Tate Martell is not a football player. Tate Martell, as I've learned, and the rest of the world will learn soon, is an entrepreneur that happened to play football.
Right.
So when your football career is over, you can still monetize that name, image, likeness, your social media, all the experience. You've written a few books. The average football player could fill a book up with stories. It's a very good opportunity to start to develop your business mindset and be an entrepreneur as a freshman in college.
Yeah.
The difference between Tate and I is I got hurt early. So I ended up with 4 more years of experience before I graduated in real-life business than he did, although he could throw a ball much farther than me. He's 40 times better, and I'm fairly confident jumps higher and slightly better looking. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate the average student-athlete that's there right now, like Al Blades. Al Blades was being judged by some people as a gamer, as if that's a bad thing. I said, no, man, you're an entrepreneur. You have your own Twitch. You're a professional gamer. He's making $5,000 or $6,000 a month playing video games, right?
That's the cool thing with him, that now he doesn't even look at himself. Like, he calls himself an entrepreneur now. That's how he looks at himself, and I'd say it's been a month of him talking like that.
That's pretty cool.
And
that's right.
He really does. My fault. He does look at himself like a businessman now, and that's how he takes his approach on everything. He's came to you with business plans already.
He has, and even the way he looks at now rehabbing for football. It's a terrible story. He got COVID. There's like 1% of people that have the enlarged heart, and he's one of them.
Wow.
If you ever want to hear a crazy story, and a heart MRI apparently takes forever. But he's been sitting here, and now he's taking a business approach to getting back to football. What does that mean? Well, either you spend your time or you invest your time as an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
Well, as an 18-year-old kid, you end up spending a lot of your time.
Right.
He's investing his time in nutrition, in the gym, in his sports, in his Reddit account and his Twitch account. So now everything he's doing is to grow himself for life after football.
I like it.
They're student athletes now. You're an athlete for an indefinite period of time. But hopefully, like you and I, you're a student your entire life.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one thing is that differentiates people is what kind of education do you have, and do you continue to learn? Do you continue to invest? For example, with Keller Williams Realty, we have a sports and entertainment certification, so I'm in the process of getting that in place, and that's cool. That's going to open up a lot more doors, sports and entertainment, and then with Keller Williams, we have a worldwide network of athletes or realtors rather, realtors in other markets, New York, LA, Kansas City. If they get a transfer of an athlete to Tampa, hopefully I'm the first one they call, the Real Estate Quarterback Show, so we've done the branding to be in that place. But yeah, so the great point is like, no matter what industry you're in, first of all, you're in the people business. You got to know how to work with people. But then secondly, what are you doing to differentiate yourself from those other same people that are competing? And when you look at real estate, mortgage, personal injury law, auto sales, there's a lot of competition out there.
There's a ton. And there's so much competition and there's no inventory. So we're all fighting over fewer and fewer things, right?
Exactly.
So we have to stand out and be different.
That's
right. Another thing I like about Tate and where Martell Murphy Sports is going is he's reintroduced this idea of charitable acts in everything we do.
Yeah.
So we're bringing back to the student athlete, hey, it's okay to make all the money in the world, but you need to be a conscious capitalist.
Right.
You need to find initiative, find something that matters to you, your mosque, your synagogue, your church, your cathedral, your place of worship, your nonprofit. Go make a difference somewhere else. I think that is another way that more businesses that are listening can stand out no matter what field they're in.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you had that example a couple months ago when we did the car payment deal.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So Tate, what we did is we had listeners submit their car payment, and we paid somebody's payment for the month. So
that's nice.
Maybe if anybody is interested in doing something like that again, reach out to us either on the Consumer Quarterback social medias or mine or Tate's social media on what's the next giveaway we should do here in the Tampa Bay area.
What is the? Let's give out the social contacts.
Yeah. So my contact on Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me at Real Mike Murphy. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those things. And Tate, what's yours?
The Tate Martell on there on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
Yeah. And there's so many sites now that I just got on Getter as well. I'm starting to get out on Parlor. It's like, hey, why not get out there? Let's get the exposure out. Last I checked, it's still free to make posts.
Absolutely.
So and I think that's a big difference too. Like we were kind of talking, you were recruited, I think it was in 7th grade or something like that. You signed a letter of intent to play college football as early as 7th grade.
Yeah. That's where this thing all kind of started, was way back then. And I was one of the first. David Sills was actually the first kid to ever receive a scholarship at that age, like the youngest and earliest. And I remember 2 years later, like 2 years after that, I was like, I'm gonna go get that, and that's exactly what I ended up going to do.
Nice.
And so I was kind of at the beginning of like, kids at a young age getting recruited. I later said, as in like a freshman in college, I even said it was probably one of the worst things that you can do for a kid at that age.
Why?
Because you're going in too early when you don't even know what the kid's going to turn into.
Right.
You don't know where he's going to go, what he's going to turn into. And I said that, I think it was probably even senior year in high school. And it's just a lot of stuff. I was on 60 Minutes with Morley Safer. I was on ESPN radio. I was doing all sorts of stuff as a 7th grader, 8th grader.
Wow.
And I wasn't really even prepared for that kind of...
Right.
That stuff.
How could
at
you
that
be,
age.
right?
At that age, I was 13 years old, 14 years old. I could barely even hold a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Let alone even still through college, I'd sit there and say, I still need to grow,
Yeah.
So, that was my view on it back then. And I know it's still, now it's good even earlier and earlier. You're seeing it's masses of kids getting it in 6th, 7th grade now, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And we're talking with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group, and also Tate Martell, name, image, and likeness consultant here with Martell and Murphy Sports. And yeah, there's also a movie out now. Did you see the previews for that one yet? It's a movie about the, with the NCAA, some of the players saying, hey, we're going to hold out. We're not going to play this big game. I just remember seeing the previews one time. I thought it was maybe topical because that was a big deal, right? The NCAA, I guess, finally saying, yeah, now we'll allow these athletes to have this name, image, and likeness contracts. And Mike, you know a lot better than I do.
This is really interesting. And maybe this is something that the Florida fans, you can root for any Florida team, and it's the only thing a Florida State, Seminole, a Gator, and a Hurricane, throw a Knight and a Bull, that can all agree to, is that we were the first state, or one of the first states, to put out name, image, and likeness legalization for our student athletes. Nice. But we had a certain amount of parameters. One of the parameters was that a university could not initiate the contact. So the University of Miami could not go to a former player like Tate Martell now and say, hey, can you go mentor somebody on a name, image, and likeness deal? The other 49 states can. And here's why. We wrote our law first thinking we were doing something well. We had 8 other states hop on with looser laws to get a competitive advantage. And then the NCAA said to the other 41 or 42 states that it's wide open, do whatever you want, there are no laws. So I think we as fans and Floridians need to go back and change our law to be on the level playing field as everyone else. BYU was able to go to their founders and found somebody to pay for every single walk-on player. Wow. There's no more scholarships at BYU for non-walk-ons and walk-ons. Everybody's on scholarship. Wow. The walk-ons are on private NIL scholarships. Schools in Florida, with our Florida law, we cannot legally do that, and we got to fix that.
That's interesting. Yeah, we got to dive deeper on that next time and talk a little bit more about it. Running out of time here, guys. Final thoughts to you guys, and follow them online at Real Mike Murphy and at the Tate Martell. 2 L's on that. Consumer Quarterback Show. Final thoughts to you guys.
Yeah, just real quick. I think I'm very, very proud of what Tate's turning into, but what excites me is he's just one guy. There's a ton of student athletes out there. So if you're listening and you want to grow your business, find a student athlete, invest in them. These men and women will make everybody and your business better. They're like a high tide. They raise all ships.
Very cool. I like it. Final thought, Tate.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, for me, just talking my experience so far, my quick transition out of football and into working now. I mean, it's been probably the happiest that I've been in the last 5 years of my life. Cool. It has been, giving back and being able to get involved like this. Nice. And being a resource and not, having the time to actually help and, take my knowledge and give that stuff out. So, yeah, I'm here for, any player that needs help, and that's my big thing with this whole company and where we're going with it.
Awesome. All right, good stuff. Hey, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we got Larry Harbolt. He is a podcaster. He's a real estate investor, a teacher, and a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Larry Harbolt coming up here on the show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Did you know that 15 to 20 million children wake up in the United States without a gift on Christmas morning? Shaq. Find out what Shaq did to combat that right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Looking for a venue to host your next business or family event? Make it Largo Event Center. The Consumer Quarterback Show has used the Largo Event Center, and the hall and service you get is fantastic. Over 8,500 square feet of meeting space, perfect for events, expos, and trade shows. Upstairs offers space for smaller meetings and groups to include use of their lounge and game room. Plenty of room outside for car shows or food truck events and concerts. Largo Event Center is just west of US 19 on 126th Avenue. For booking and details, visit largoeventcenter.com. That's largoeventcenter.com. Or call Guy at 727-776-3442.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Every day we like to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, Shaq-a-Claus. Shaquille O'Neal gifted thousands of PSAs and Nintendo Switches to underprivileged kids on Christmas. So, former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal spent time at Christmas giving away thousands of PlayStations to underprivileged kids. And he's quoted as saying, "You know, for me, coming from where I come from, my father was a drill sergeant. My mother was a hardworking woman. They didn't have a lot, but they taught me the value of giving back, and they taught me the value of helping those in need." He also added that his partnership with Toys R Us, he learned that 15 to 20 million children in the United States wake up on Christmas morning with no presents to open. And how sad is that? I mean, you think about that for a moment. So as long as I'm on, he's quoted as saying, "As long as I'm on Earth, I'm going to try to do what I can do to help kids get toys." And he said he called his friends from Nintendo Switch. He got about 1,000 Switches, got 1,000 PS5s, and went to Walmart to get some bikes. And he handed them out to this elementary school, McDonough, Georgia. He said the kids were crying, they were happy, and that's what it's all about. So he's been doing that since 1997, Shaq-a-Claus events. All right, we're going to the phone lines here. We got our friend Larry Harbolt. Larry Harbolt on the Consumer Quarterback Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored, my friend. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you. Same to you and
Yes,
everybody
sir.
else.
Yes, sir. What is your take on this real estate market? You're a real estate educator, you're a teacher, and you teach folks, and you're also got your podcast. What are you seeing out there, Larry?
Well, I'm seeing that the market is still going strong. I'm thinking that, a lot of the experts are saying the market's going to level off. But prices continue to go up at this time because financing is easy to get. The only problem I'm seeing is when something hits the market, there's so many people looking,
right?
That they don't last long, and there's a lot of people that just can't pull the switch, like some of the people that have access to a lot of money. And so, something I got involved with, I got involved with a company that has a national app that goes on your phone for off-market wholesale real estate. Nothing that's listed can be on there, and it's a subscription site. It's affordable. There's 3 tiers to it. There's one where you can look at the different properties that are on the site, but you have no contact with the owner. The second tier, you have access to everyone on the site, on the app, I should say, with a 50-mile radius. And the third tier is you get coverage nationwide of anybody on the app. And I'm really proud to be involved with that because I see one of the biggest problems. A lot of investors today are having trouble finding properties that are affordable because we've got to buy below market because we've got to put money into it.
Right.
We can't buy it at top dollar, put more money in it, and expect to make a profit. So this I'm very excited about. It's just now getting launched, and it's called Roy's List, ROI' List, Roy's List. And it's an app that goes on your phone, and it's just now starting to take off.
Cool.
So I'm really, really excited about it because this can help a lot of investors who just can't compete with listed properties on a continual basis. This is going to give much more opportunity to people. So this is going to help, people like myself buy houses that are going to fix them up and give good housing to people that need it right now, because people are moving into Florida every day.
Absolutely.
And they're looking for affordable housing, and we can provide that.
That's great, man. Really exciting. Roy's List. I like that. That's pretty cool. And what do you see happening with the market in general? Are there going to be an uptick in foreclosures?
I think so. I'm seeing all indications there's going to be, because, with COVID, people staying home, if they had money, they're spending it on food and living expense, and they're not paying their mortgage. So I truly believe there's going to be a big uptick in foreclosure properties.
Yeah, I agree. Give us your places to find you, Larry. How can folks get in touch with you?
I have a website. It's called LarryHarbolt.com, and my podcasts are on there. I've got 225 educational podcasts for the investor, and anybody that wants to talk to me about the Roy's List I've mentioned, you can contact me at 727-420-4810, and I'll tell you all about it.
All right, Larry, I'm going to talk to you about that off air too, my friend. That's pretty cool. I like that. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate you, Larry.
You bet. Everybody have a great day.
Awesome. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.